All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose and Monday morning dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. So let's get you started with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, everything works in cooperation with something else. Everything works in cooperation with something else. And I want to talk to you today about 5 emotions, maybe even surprising emotions that could be stopping you from living your dreams. You know, I've talked many times about the fact that what we truly want to experience in life and get out of life are not the things, not the money, the houses, the trips, although I do like those things, but it's really the emotions that those things are going to bring us. And so emotions are so important for you to be able to understand and follow, accept, and identify. And I want to talk to you today, though, about 5 emotions that might be robbing you from living your dreams. You know, have you ever had, as an example, one of those days where you just don't feel motivated to do anything? You know, you're not in the mood to see your friends or get up for work or go outside. You just want to curl up in a ball and sleep. You know, you're not alone. We all have those moments. Moments where we feel like pulling the covers over our heads is going to be a better way to deal with things. But I want to talk to you today about how there are 5 specific emotions that might really be holding you back. And how do you break free from these emotions? And how are we going to be able to move forward and not get stuck in the past? It's very, very important that you understand that, number one and foremost, that you have to recognize and identify the emotions that are holding you back. It's very important. And then a lot of times the second step is to turn them into a positive force that pushes you forward rather than holds you back. There are a lot of emotions, even negative emotions, that can be used to fuel you rather than tie you down. So let's talk about 5 that I think are pretty critical, ones that you probably are dealing with and that you need to really get an awareness around. And the first is anger. Anger is such a powerful emotion. If it isn't handled right, it's going to be a destructive force in your life. The goal for you is to be able to let go of any anger that you have. Just imagine yourself throwing it away if you're holding on to something like that right now. But also, maybe you can try to turn your anger into a positive fuel or motivation to help you. That's another way to deal with anger. What I would suggest is that if you're experiencing anger, identify and understand why you're angry. It's very important not just to feel the emotion, but to understand the source. And then come up with a way to maybe reevaluate the way you're viewing it. Because remember, your perception, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And commit to, when these situations come up, that you look through that different filter. Look through it. If you have something someone's done to you to wrong you, look at a way that you can use that to fuel you and turn that anger, that negative emotion, into a positive. Another one, the second emotion I wanted to talk to you about, is revenge. Now, I know that movies portray the act of revenge in just this real glorious way, and it's a way of gaining closure after someone was wronged. But revenge really does have the opposite effect. It really sincerely damages your life because you can find it difficult to enjoy other things in life. And it's easy with revenge to be distracted and not feel present when you're obsessing about getting back at someone. It really hijacks your life to the point that you shut down almost everything else. So here is some really sound advice if you're dealing with this feeling or emotion of revenge. Living a good life is the best form of revenge. Once you acknowledge that someone cannot ruin your happiness, they lose all the power over you. And the best revenge is always massive success anyway. So make a decision not to let revenge or getting back at someone be the driving force in your life. The third emotion I want to talk to you about is sadness. Now, the truth about sadness is that it's more draining than anger. It actually will leave you feeling very empty deep inside, right? It's something that you can't fill, that sometimes only time can fill. Maybe you've gotten out of a bad relationship, or maybe you've lost a loved one, or maybe you've dealt with something that has made it very, very difficult. I had the same situation happen earlier this year when I had one of my longtime good friends and mentors, Robert Stuberg, passed away. And, time does heal those things, but sadness is going to linger unless you deal with it. You've got to consciously work on moving through it. Give yourself time to get through it, to feel it and experience it. but work consciously to work through it so that that sadness doesn't linger in your life. What I would suggest is commit to practicing gratitude, acceptance, and acts of happiness. Because when you focus on what you have that's amazing in your life, it tends to pull you away from those negative emotions. And make well-being, your top priority in your life. Sadness can kind of hold you back from taking care of you, and you need to make sure that you prioritize yourself. And be careful that you don't equate happiness with momentary pleasure. You've got to learn to be happy, but don't feel like you have to be happy in the moment all the time. Sometimes it's okay to just feel the sadness. A fourth emotion I want to talk to you about, and this is a difficult one for some people, it's resentment. Have you ever noticed how resentment can stop you from living a good, happy life? It's like a poison that eats away at your happiness and your sense of purpose, and presents these situations in your life that keep you from reaching your full potential. Resentment is often it's rooted in your past, right? It might be failed relationships or unmet expectations, and you start to harbor these resentments towards others and even maybe yourself. That's a really difficult thing for some people as they start to resent their own behavior. It's important to understand that resentment is a normal emotion, and it's okay to feel resentment once in a while. Find healthy ways, though, to deal with this emotion so that you can move on and live your best life. Once again, identify what's making you feel resentful. What triggered you to feel this emotion, and how do you identify that source and overcome it in the future so that it doesn't get out of control? And here's a really important point I want to make here with resentment. You've got to learn to forgive yourself and other people, and just let go. Just let go of the past, because resentment generally happens with things that happen in the past. And once again, if you practice gratitude and the things you're thankful for, when you focus on abundance rather than lack, this is when you're going to open yourself up to limitless possibilities. So resentment is something else I really want you to work on. And then the fifth one is guilt. Guilt is an emotion that many people have felt at some point in their life. I can't think of anybody that maybe hasn't. The problem is that it can seriously affect your own self-esteem. It's going to delay your success. It's going to keep you focused on things that just don't matter. Guilt is so destructive, but it can be overcome. Personal growth, it's all about expanding your capacity for love, to be loved, including, and listen to me carefully here, including loving yourself. You're not the same person you were before. Just the very fact that you're thinking about how you can become a better person means that you're growing. So put these feelings of guilt in perspective and put them in a perspective that's positive, that you can grow through them, that you can make amends, that you can do what you need to do. Don't let those feelings consume your life. Now, it does take practice and it takes deliberate rethinking of situations, but be patient with yourself, especially when it comes to maybe events or activities or actions that you've done in the past that you really truly do deserve a little bit of patience and love for. Now, it's important, as we talked about these 5 emotions, that you understand that they can come from how you deal with things, they can come from outside, they can come from wherever, but forgiveness, gratitude, personal growth, these are all ways to move past these 5 emotions. Don't let these emotions, these negative emotions, control your life. You have the power to choose, maybe not that you experienced them, but how you're going to move forward. So choose forgiveness, choose gratitude, choose personal growth over the resentment, the negativity, the guilt, the sadness, and live your dreams and create an abundant life for you and the people around you. Make sure that you do everything you can to control and drive and directionalize the emotions in your life. Find the ones that you want to experience and make sure you move past the ones you don't want to experience. And emotions are absolutely what's going to change the quality of your life. So that's my message for today. I hope that's something that helps you, at least get you thinking about it. Do me a favor, share this podcast with someone you feel it would benefit, and like and subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss out on any of the things that we're going to be talking about. This week, I'm going to be talking to you about all kinds of different things. We've got different sales tips, ways to overcome failure. We've got some ideas on how to do better presentations, how to become an education-based marketing expert. There's so many things that we're going to be able to cover. I really look forward to talking with you throughout the week. So once again, this is George Wright. This has been the Daily Mastermind. Have an amazing day.